Thank you very much. And now I'm really pleased to turn over to the panelists who've been waiting very patiently, but this was an important primer for the discussions to come. Immediately on my right is Jeff Tulan, the founder and CEO of Pylantis. And I want you to remember all of this as he starts talking about his product. Jeff Tulan is an internationally recognized scholar, activist, and entrepreneur. He founded a number of businesses, including an urban activism-inspired clothing company named Multipurpose, and a bioplastics consumer product company called Repurpose Compostables, Inc. So he's going to talk to us about his company, unique challenges and opportunities in the business he is in. Next to him is Jeff Foster, and Jason Foster. I did this twice, didn't I? Jason Foster is the founder and CEO of Replenish, and he is also the chief reuser of Replenish. He is the creator of a patented reusable bottle system designed to transform the way household liquid products are packaged and consumed. Through better design, Replenish's mission is to bring the environmental and consumer benefits of concentrates to the mainstream. Big-time front-end solution to plastic pollution. And at the very end is Pam Marcus. Pam is the CEO, and she's the founder of Life Factory. And for over 17 years, Pam has been a pediatric physical therapist and feeding specialist. Being an expert on infant development, wondering why they weren't healthy, eco-friendly, and well-designed developmental products on the market, she used her scientific skills and love of design to create Life Factory. Life Factory's purpose is to solve the problem not only of plastic pollution, but the health issues associated with plastic bottles and plastic containers. So my first question to all of our panelists is to talk about their companies, how they address the problem of front-end reduction of plastic pollution, and what measurements they have. How do they actually measure their effectiveness? So, please.
Can we remain seated?
Yeah, please remain seated.
Testing? Testing? Is it working? It's on. Testing, testing. I don't think it's working, but... hi, I'm Jeff Toolan. I am, as Daniella mentioned, the founder and CEO of Pylantis. This is my second endeavor into the bioplastics field. Traditionally, bioplastics have been plagued with a number of issues. I think our first panelist of the day eloquently put it. It's finding a balance between cost, performance, and sustainability. And as many of you know, there were a number of issues with first generation. Okay, great. There were a number of issues with first generation bioplastics, most of which involved their cost and the lack of performance. Obviously, they had sustainability metrics which were far superior to plastic, which our esteemed doctor has just went over the basic science in terms of the sequestering of the carbon for the raw feedstock. So during my more than 10 years in combined sort of private public service in sustainability, social justice, and innovation, I had continually scoured the planet for innovation in this field. I would not accept that there was no technology available that could meet the needs of both cost, performance, and sustainability, knowing what the situation plastic had created for humanity, both here in the developing world as well as in the developed countries, which in some cases have suffered even greater health issues due to the widespread adoption of the plastic technology without a full recognition of particularly the impact on the endocrine system. I began my studies at Cornell during some of the very earliest endocrine mapping. So I was one of the first people to actually map the endocrine system using advanced immunocytochemistry. And it was at that point that I realized that in some senses Chinese medicine was more representative of our biology than the Western sort of automechanic view of the way our nervous system interacted with our endocrine system. And I think it was from that point forward that I knew that the future was going to be looking more at parts per million, parts per billion, and parts per trillion, and how those chemicals sort of build up constantly in the environment. So having had the incredible opportunity to be surrounded by very conscious people in the creative industry in Hollywood, I was able to pioneer a number of businesses which I think, due to the high costs associated with early adoption, may not have been otherwise possible. So the communities, the creative communities in the US have been very integral to my success in the sustainable business space. Because as we can imagine, first generation plant plastic was quite a bit more expensive And even in California sun, you know, it had issues. So we could barely use the product outside in the sun without it beginning to sort of melt. So I continued with that company for a number of years, and that company's now focused specifically on single-use products, and that's not my focus with my second company, Pylantis. The company that I'm here to discuss today is really more focused on front-end solutions. So we are pleased to announce at Rio that we have the first full portfolio, including about 17 materials, which can fundamentally replace all types of plastic. And we're including plastics for the use in microwaves and dishwashers. I'm not speaking to whether or not we should be using them, but the materials in terms of performance perform on par or better than traditional plastics. This has been accomplished similar to our earlier panelists with a complete sort of 180-degree turn from the traditional technology. So it's a very complex process. It costs millions of dollars to R&D at multiple universities globally. It involves some of the largest plastics industry players in the world. It feeds on a innovation driven by NGO NatureWorks, which was the first generation of polylactic acid commercially available that was indeed polylactic acid. So needless to say, we're currently looking at the issue where innovation is no longer the problem. So part of what I want to talk about today is the innovation, but part of what I really want to talk about is the opportunity available in the space for entrepreneurs, because the technology and the innovation has finally caught up to the demand, and consumers are more than ever before aware of the issues and externalities associated with all types of plastic consumption. So that's it.
Yeah, I'll use the panel. Thank you, Jeff. I'm going to bring up some props to kind of start off this next phase here. Oh, yeah, please.
Sorry, just I'm going to have some products passed around the room. If you haven't already picked up a sample at the back, this is EcoPEC material. It's a recombinant wood product. The black material is the first generation of microwave-safe, dishwasher-safe plant plastic. It is biodegradable and almost entirely plant-derived and can be produced at scale at a cost on or within the 10% range of traditional plastic. So feel free to squeeze it. It's very, very strong and again can withstand microwaving and dishwashing. In repeated use, it is a durable grade plant plastic.